If you are over 60, something you consumed today is quietly destroying your kidneys. Not a chemical, not a toxin from a factory, something completely ordinary. Something sitting in your kitchen right now. Something you have probably consumed every single day for years, believing it was either harmless or even healthy. And here's what makes this genuinely terrifying. Your kidneys will not warn you. There is no pain, no obvious sign, no alarm. Because kidneys lose up to 90% of their function before a single symptom appears. 90% gone, in silence. A study published in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that chronic kidney disease affects over 37 million adults in the United States, and that more than 90% of them do not know they have it. You could be one of them, right now, today. And the substances destroying your kidneys are not what your doctor's appointment had time to warn you about. Stay with me, because the worst offender on this list is something that a significant number of adults over 60 take every single day, believing it is protecting their health. And it is doing the opposite. Before we go any further, if nobody has ever told you this before, your health deserves attention. I upload a new video every single week covering the things your doctor often doesn't have time to explain. Hit subscribe and tap that bell so you never miss what could be keeping you healthy. Now, let's talk about what is really poisoning your kidneys. A quick but important note. The information in this video is for educational purposes only. It is not intended as medical advice, and it does not replace your personal physician. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your health routine, especially if you take any regular medication. Never stop or change any medication without explicit physician guidance. That said, being informed is your first line of defense, and that's exactly what we're here to do. Here is something that most kidney conversations get completely wrong. When people think about kidney damage, they think about dramatic causes, poisoning, kidney stones, serious infection. Wrong. The most dangerous threats to your kidneys after 60 are not dramatic. They are mundane, repeated, accumulated silently over months and years. Think of it like water dripping onto a stone. One drop changes nothing. 10,000 drops carve a hole. That is exactly how the 6 kidney poisons I am going to show you today work. Each one, consumed or used repeatedly, causes microscopic damage that your kidneys absorb without complaint, until the day they cannot anymore. Here's what the research found. A review published in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology identified repeated low-level nephrotoxic exposure, damage from everyday substances, as the primary driver of the accelerating kidney disease epidemic in adults over 60. Not genetics, not infection, everyday exposure. Accumulated, unrecognized. Now here is where it gets important. After 60, your kidneys are already operating at reduced capacity. By age 70, the average adult has lost 30 to 40% of their peak kidney function through normal aging alone. Think of it like a bridge that has been carrying heavy traffic for 60 years. The structure is still standing, but its load capacity is reduced. And substances that the bridge handled easily at 40 are now capable of causing structural damage at 65. You have less kidney reserve than you did 20 years ago. Which means the 6 substances I am about to show you are more dangerous to you now than they have ever been. I am going to walk you through all 6 today, and after each one, I will give you the exact protective action supported by published medical research. Let's begin. Poison 1. And this one is going to surprise you. common over-the-counter pain medication taken regularly after 60. Here is the alarming part first. NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, include ibuprofen, naproxen, aspirin in higher doses, and diclofenac. They are among the most commonly consumed medications in the world. Available without prescription, considered by most people to be safe because they do not require a doctor, they are not safe for regular use after 60. Here's the mechanism. Your kidneys regulate their own blood flow through a careful balance of prostaglandins, hormone-like compounds that keep the vessels feeding your kidney tissue open and responsive. NSAIDs block prostaglandin production. Think of it like turning off the traffic management system on a busy highway. For a short journey, manageable. For a long commute, every day, for years, the collisions accumulate. When prostaglandins are suppressed by regular NSAID use, kidney blood flow drops. Kidney tissue receives less oxygen. Filtration efficiency declines. And over months and years, structural kidney damage accumulates. Here is what the research found. A study published in the Archives of Internal Medicine found that regular NSAID use, defined as 2 or more doses per week for more than 3 months, was associated with a 50% higher risk of chronic kidney disease progression in adults over 65. 50%. From pain medication available at every pharmacy without a prescription. This is why your kidney function numbers may have been quietly declining despite no obvious illness. This is why your physician may have noted reduced eGFR at your last blood test without a clear explanation. The explanation may be sitting in your medicine cabinet. Most people think over-the-counter means safe for long-term use. Wrong. Over-the-counter means no prescription required for short-term use. The distinction matters enormously. The protective action for Poison 1: limit NSAID use to no more than 3 consecutive days for acute pain, and never more than 10 days per month. For chronic pain management after 60, speak with your physician about alternatives that do not carry nephrotoxic risk, including acetaminophen within safe dose limits, topical anti-inflammatory preparations, and non-pharmacological approaches. If you currently take NSAIDs regularly, request a kidney function test, specifically eGFR, at your next appointment. Never stop prescribed medication without physician guidance. In about 4 minutes, I'm going to show you something about a common food additive that most adults over 60 consume daily without knowing. And its connection to kidney scarring is one of the most alarming findings in nephrology research from the past decade. Poison 2: excessive dietary phosphate from processed foods, and the kidney scarring mechanism nobody talks about. This is the one that stops people cold because it is completely invisible. Phosphate is a mineral found naturally in protein-rich foods. In moderate amounts, from natural sources, it is essential. But after 60, your kidneys struggle to excrete excess phosphate efficiently. When phosphate accumulates in the bloodstream above safe levels, a condition called hyperphosphatemia, it triggers a biological process called vascular calcification. Calcium and phosphate bind together and deposit in soft tissue, including kidney tissue, including the small blood vessels feeding your kidneys. Think of it like lime scale building up inside a water pipe. The pipe still functions, but the interior narrows, flow reduces, pressure builds, and eventually the pipe becomes too blocked to work. Now here is the part most people have never been told. The phosphate in natural foods, in meat, fish, eggs, dairy, is absorbed at approximately 40 to 60% by your digestive system. The phosphate in processed food additives, the phosphates used as preservatives, emulsifiers, and texture enhancers in packaged foods, is absorbed at 80 to 100%. The same mineral, completely different absorption rate, completely different kidney load. Here's what the research found. A study published in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that adults with the highest dietary phosphate additive intake had measurably higher rates of kidney function decline and cardiovascular calcification than those with similar total phosphate intake from natural food sources. This is why your kidneys can be under phosphate stress even if you eat what appears to be a healthy diet. The additive phosphates in your packaged bread, your processed cheese, your cured meats, and your cola beverages are hitting your kidneys at twice the intensity of natural food phosphate. The protective action for poison 2. Read ingredient labels specifically for phosphate additives, listed as sodium phosphate, disodium phosphate, phosphoric acid, calcium phosphate, or any ingredient containing the word phosphate. Eliminate or significantly reduce foods containing these additives. Prioritize whole, unprocessed protein sources, and limit cola beverages, which contain phosphoric acid, to no more than 1 per week. Give this change 6 weeks and discuss your phosphate levels with your physician at your next kidney function review. Poison 3. Dehydration. Not dramatic dehydration, the quiet, chronic, mild dehydration that most adults over 60 live with every single day. Let me pause here because this matters, and it is the most correctable item on this entire list. After 60, your thirst sensation declines significantly. Your body's osmoreceptors, the sensors that detect rising blood concentration and trigger thirst, become less sensitive. You can be meaningfully dehydrated and feel no thirst whatsoever. Think of it like a fuel gauge that has stopped working accurately. The tank is running low, but the needle still shows half full. You drive on, confident, until the engine stops. Your kidneys depend on adequate fluid flow to flush waste, maintain blood pressure within the kidney's filtration network, and prevent the concentration of minerals and acids that cause damage and stone formation. Chronic mild dehydration, a state most adults over 60 inhabit for most of their waking hours, forces kidneys to work in a concentrated, high-stress environment continuously. The filtration units, the nephrons, are permanently under osmotic pressure. Over years, nephrons are lost at an accelerated rate. Here is what the research found. A study published in the American Journal of Nephrology found that adults who maintained higher daily fluid intake showed significantly slower rates of kidney function decline over a 6-year follow-up period, independent of all other kidney risk factors. The effect was most pronounced in adults over 60. This is why your urine is dark yellow by mid-afternoon on most days. Dark yellow means concentrated. Concentrated means your kidneys are under stress. The target is pale straw, almost clear throughout the day. The protective action for poison 3. 6 to 8 cups of water daily, spaced across the day, not consumed in large amounts at once. Set 3 specific hydration reminders on your phone: morning, midday, and mid-afternoon. Use a marked water bottle so you can track intake visually. And in hot weather or after exercise, add a pinch of unrefined mineral salt to 1 glass to support electrolyte balance alongside hydration. Before I reveal the final 3 poisons, I want to ask you something. In the comments below, right now, write down how many of these first 3 have been part of your regular life without you realizing the kidney risk. Write the number, just the number. You will be genuinely alarmed at the responses. I read every single comment, and sometimes your answer might save someone else's kidneys. Now, let's continue. Poison 4. High dietary sodium and the pressure mechanism that scars kidney tissue from the inside. Here is what nobody tells you about sodium and kidneys, and it goes far beyond blood pressure. Most people know that high sodium raises blood pressure. What most people do not know is the specific mechanism by which high sodium directly damages kidney tissue, even in adults whose blood pressure is medically controlled. High dietary sodium forces your kidneys to work harder to maintain sodium balance in the blood. The filtration units, the glomeruli, come under increased pressure as they process the excess sodium load. Over time, this sustained glomerular hypertension causes a process called glomerulosclerosis, scarring of the kidney's filtration units. Think of it like running a fine mesh filter at twice the water pressure it was designed for. The mesh still functions, but the sustained overpressure gradually distorts and damages the mesh structure, permanently reducing its filtration capacity. Here is what the research found. A study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that high sodium intake was independently associated with glomerulosclerosis progression in adults over 55, even in those with medically controlled blood pressure. The kidney damage occurred through a direct pressure mechanism that blood pressure medication could only partially offset. This is why your kidney function may continue to decline despite good blood pressure control. The medication is managing the systemic pressure, but your dietary sodium is still driving the local glomerular pressure that is scarring your kidney filters. Most people think that if their blood pressure is controlled, their kidneys are protected from sodium. Wrong. The kidney damage mechanism from high sodium operates partially independently of systemic blood pressure. The protective action for poison 4. Target below 1,500 milligrams of sodium daily, not the standard 2,300 milligram recommendation, which is a general population figure. For adults over 60 with any degree of kidney function decline, 1,500 milligrams is the clinically supported target. Cook with herbs, lemon, and spices rather than salt. Eliminate restaurant meals and canned soups, which carry the highest sodium loads of any common food category, for a minimum of 8 weeks, and assess the effect on your kidney function at your next blood test. Poison 5. Contrast dye used in medical imaging, and why most adults over 60 are never warned about the kidney risk before their scan. Here is the alarming part. If you have ever had a CT scan with contrast, an angiogram, or certain cardiac procedures, you were exposed to iodinated contrast dye. This dye is injected into your bloodstream to enhance image quality, and in adults over 60 with reduced kidney function, it carries a specific documented risk called contrast-induced nephropathy. Think of it like running a chemical through a filter that is already partially clogged. In a new filter, the chemical passes through without significant damage. In a worn filter, the chemical accumulates, stresses the remaining filter capacity, and can cause a sudden, acute reduction in function. Here is what the research found. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that contrast-induced nephropathy, acute kidney injury following contrast exposure, occurred in up to 15% of adults over 65 with pre-existing reduced kidney function undergoing contrast-enhanced imaging, and that a significant proportion of those cases resulted in permanent further kidney function loss. 15% of people who had a routine scan. This is why your kidney function may have dropped noticeably after a period of medical testing. The imaging helped diagnose one problem while quietly creating another. The protective action for poison 5. Before any imaging procedure involving contrast dye, specifically ask your physician, is my current kidney function adequate for this contrast agent? Request your current eGFR and ask whether pre-hydration protocol, IV saline before and after the procedure, is appropriate for your kidney function level. This protocol, documented in the journal JAMA, significantly reduces contrast nephropathy risk. You have the right to this conversation before every contrast procedure. Do not wait to be offered it. Poison 6. And this is the reframe this entire video has been building toward. Most people believe the greatest kidney threat after 60 is a dramatic one, a serious illness, a sudden event, something obvious. I believed that framing for a long time. Then I encountered a body of research that completely repositioned how I understand kidney disease in older adults. And I want you to hear this carefully, because it changes everything about what you do tomorrow morning. Here is what the research found. A comprehensive analysis published in The Lancet examining kidney disease progression across more than 2 million adults found that the single most powerful driver of accelerating kidney decline after 60 was not any individual toxin, medication, or disease. It was the combination of multiple low-level stressors operating simultaneously on a kidney that had already lost reserve capacity through normal aging. Let that sink in for a moment. No single item on this list will necessarily destroy your kidneys alone. But 3 of them together, regular NSAIDs, high processed food phosphate, and chronic mild dehydration, create a combined nephrotoxic load that your 65-year-old kidneys cannot absorb the way your 40-year-old kidneys could. Think of it like a roof that can handle rain, or wind, or snow, each alone. But rain combined with wind combined with snow simultaneously collapses it. Your kidneys are that roof. Each stressor is manageable in isolation. In combination, after 60, they are not. The most important thing you can take from today is this. Kidney protection after 60 is not about eliminating one threat. It is about systematically reducing the combined load across all 6 categories. The protective action for Poison 6, and the most important, request a comprehensive kidney function panel from your physician that includes eGFR, urine albumin to creatinine ratio, serum phosphate, and serum electrolytes. This combination gives a complete picture of current kidney stress that a single creatinine or BUN test cannot provide. Do this annually if your function is normal. Every 6 months if your eGFR is below 60. Because the window for intervention, the window where the changes you make today produce the largest benefit, is open right now, before symptoms appear, before the damage compounds. Let me bring all 6 together for you now. Poison 1, regular NSAID use. Protective action, limit to 3 consecutive days maximum. Request eGFR at your next appointment. Discuss alternatives with your physician for chronic pain. Poison 2, processed food phosphate additives. Protective action, eliminate foods with phosphate in the ingredient list. Prioritize whole food protein sources. Remove cola beverages. Poison 3, chronic mild dehydration. Protective action, 6 to 8 cups of water daily with 3 timed reminders. Target pale straw urine throughout the day. Poison 4, high dietary sodium. Protective action, target 1,500 milligrams daily. Eliminate restaurant meals and canned soups for 8 weeks. Cook with herbs and lemon instead of salt. Poison 5, contrast dye exposure. Protective action, before every imaging procedure with contrast, ask about your eGFR and request pre-hydration protocol discussion. Poison 6, the combined stressor load. Protective action, request a comprehensive kidney function panel annually. eGFR, urine albumin to creatinine ratio, serum phosphate, and electrolytes. Because early detection is the most powerful kidney protection available, you do not have to address all 6 at once. Pick the one that resonated with you most deeply today. Start there. Just one change. This week. That is how real transformation begins. I want to say something to you before we close. Your kidneys have been filtering your blood every minute of every day for your entire life. They have never taken a day off, never asked for recognition, never complained, even when they were struggling. And the cruel irony of kidney disease is that by the time it announces itself, a significant portion of that lifelong work has already been lost. You deserve to know what is threatening those organs before the damage is done, not after, before. The research on kidney protection after 60 is clear and consistent. The changes that matter most are dietary and behavioral, not pharmaceutical. The most powerful interventions are the ones you have control over, starting today. Your kidneys are still working for you. Work back for them. Take care of yourself, because everything your body does, every heartbeat, every thought, every step, depends on those 2 quiet organs continuing to do their job. If this video gave you something valuable today, please do one thing for me. Not for the channel, for the person sitting next to you, or the person on the other end of your phone. Share this video with one person over 60 in your life who takes pain medication regularly or eats processed food daily and has never been told what it is doing to their kidneys. You might not know it, but that simple act could genuinely protect their health. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. I post every week with the same goal: to give you real science in plain language that you can actually use. And when you're ready, click the video on your screen right now. It covers the 5 early warning signs that your kidneys are already under stress, signs that appear months or years before any blood test shows a problem, and what each one means. I'll see you there. Take good care.